Our next presenter is Mekenzi ODriscoll. Mekenzi is critical care paramedic with Prisma Health in South Carolina and is pursuing a master's degree in emergency services. Mekenzi's presentation is When the Sirens Fade, the Silent Struggle of First Responders.
Good morning. As he said, my name is Mekenzi ODriscoll. Today I want to talk to you about something that has become the foundation of my career. With 10 years of emergency services experience, nothing has become more important to me than first responder mental health. There's a call in every first responder's life. It's not always the worst call, not always the goriest, not even the most publicized call, but it's a call that changes a part of who they are. For me, this call started out like many others. A chest pains call at a gas station notorious for calling 911 at. This call almost made me walk away from my career that I love. Tones dropped, muscle memory kicked in. We went with the steady urgency we're also familiar with. Nothing about this day felt unusual until it did. We worked that scene with all the skills, knowledge, and training that we've been given, yet for me, I found myself somewhere entirely different. I wasn't standing next to my patient. I was standing next to a man who had raised me to be a strong and independent woman, pretty much my best friend, my dad. A grief that I thought that I had pushed aside years ago was now front and center as my patient coded on my stretcher in front of his 7-year-old son. I often think about his son, and I wonder if he realizes the day his dad died not only changed his life, but also changed my life, my partner's life, and my student's life. It hit me hard, a realization that I had never fully grieved the loss of my father. Somehow, some way, through all the next calls, the trainings, the next shifts, I had gotten really good at compartmentalizing, putting work here and personal life there, until suddenly it wasn't separate anymore. This call brought it all back to the surface for me. This moment changed how I thought about mental health, and not about my mental health, but all of our mental health. We talk about physical safety, gloves, gowns, BSI seen safe, but what about emotional safety? What about the wounds that don't bleed, but bruise us anyways? What about all the trauma and stress we pile on over the years? Call after call, names and faces a blur, but the emotions, they stay with us forever, whether we like it or not. As first responders, we're taught how to save lives. We're not taught how to carry them afterwards. And yet we do, each and every one of us. Maybe it's the face of a child who didn't make it. Maybe it's a domestic call that reminds you too much of home. Or maybe it's the quiet calls, the ones you see more loneliness than injury in that break you in slow motion. And when you add in our personal grief, our own losses, our own heartbreaks before the uniform, it becomes inevitable that at one point, our personal life and our professional life will collide. And we often don't know what to do when it does. I didn't know what to do when it did. What I did know how to do was hide it. And it's what a lot of us get good at. We show up, we smile, we debrief with humor. We go home exhausted, but we can't sleep. Our fuse is shorter. We start snapping at all of our friends and family. We just don't feel like ourselves anymore. And oftentimes we don't connect the dots until it's too late. This call connected those dots for me. It made me ask the hard question of what happens when work intersects with my own grief. And I learned 3 things from this. Grief doesn't go away just because I'm at work. Pain doesn't stop just because I'm in uniform. And mental health isn't a side project, it's the project. The strength of a first responder isn't how fast you can do CPR or how steady you are on scene. It's whether you can face your own unfinished stories first. And then we get surprised that depression, compassion fatigue, burnout, PTSD, or worse, suicide enters our homes, our stations, and our departments. It's not because we're weak, it's because we're human. Supporting first responder mental health isn't about pamphlets, it's not about pizza in the break room, it's not even the generic check-in emails that we all get. It needs to be the fabric of our profession. It needs to be modeled by leadership. It needs to be real. It needs to be, here's how we're gonna sit with you when times get hard. We need peer support teams who don't just hand out resources, but sit shoulder to shoulder with us and say, I've been there. We need leadership who understands that saying I'm not okay right now isn't weakening the team, it's strengthening it. And we need to break the stigma of saying I'm not okay right now is no longer seen as weakness, but it's seen as strength. I don't want to lose another person in this field to silence. We run into burning buildings and we advocate for strangers we don't even know. Isn't it time we start advocating for ourselves? This call didn't just bring back my grief, it brought back my humanity, and I'm not gonna apologize for that anymore. Because it's not either or. You can be competent and still need help. You can be strong and still struggle. You can be a responder or a rescuer and still need rescuing sometimes. So if you're struggling with something right now, something unspoken, unfinished, unresolved, I'm here to tell you, you don't have to carry it by yourself. Let's build a world in first response and all of emergency services where mental health is the foundation of what we're building. And not because it's the right thing to do, but because the best teams, the best responders, and the greatest leaders are the ones who face their own fires first. So I leave you with this question. Is your organization doing everything it can for its personnel's mental health? Thank you.